Well, hello. We're very excited today to have our next guest speaker to tell us a little bit about what he does every day. Jay Nichols from Henny Penny. He's going to be talking about distribution specialist positions. And with that, we want to stop and thank our contributors, our Dayton Regional Manufacturing Association and the Logistics Association, and obviously Ohio College Tech Prep. Without their support, we would not be able to bring these videos to you. And with that, there's no further ado. I would like you to meet Jay and to learn a little bit about what he does every day in his life. Welcome, Jay.
Thank you.
So Jay, can you tell me a little bit about your job and how your work relates to your company's success?
Okay. Well, my name is Jay Nichols, and I work at Henny Penny. As a distribution specialist, basically, I have my hands on things as soon as it comes in the door for materials and things that are coming in. And normally, I have my hands on it last before it goes out the door to our different customers and things like that.
Okay, great. And what does your company produce?
We produce restaurant equipment and fryers and such like that.
Okay, very much needed. And then what is a typical day like for you?
Well, we normally start our day when we come in. We start picking orders or pulling orders as they've come in for the day. We're assembling those, boxing them, packaging them up, getting them ready to go. And then we do that for the first part of our day, the first half. And then after the first half of our day, we begin to load the different freight lines and carriers and things like that.
Okay, so a lot of logistics and having to figure out where they go and which box goes where.
Absolutely, yeah.
Okay. And how long have you been working for this company?
I've been with Henny Penny now for 8 years.
All right, great. And so you've been with them for 8 years. And what is the one thing you love most about your job?
I would say the variety. We come in, and some days we could be a little bit light on orders. We could have stuff just going domestically, or we could be hitting the walls running with a lot of stuff going international and stuff like that.
Okay. And since you've been there for 8 years, why do you stay at Henny Penny? Is there a certain thing that you love, just the change, or is it other atmospheres of the company that you like that keeps you with them?
This company in particular, they take really good care of their employees, whether it be compensation or benefits or anything like that. Plus, we're an employee-owned company, so that's a big perk to be staying here.
Yes, that is a big benefit. You're vested in the company.
Yes.
And then, how many hours do you spend a day in meetings or working in groups?
Typically, they try to have at least one, what we call a team meeting, once a week.
Okay.
But I'd say throughout the whole day, the whole crew, we're kind of working as a group to ensure that all the orders are getting done and out the door on time.
Yeah, you're pretty much in a meeting all day long, communicating with each other back and forth, right?
Correct.
What would you say is your biggest challenge with your job?
I would say, especially right now, with the way that supply chain is and the way that the world is today, just trying to make sure that we get the material needed for the orders, and trying to keep caught up on allocating what goes where and who gets what first. That would be the biggest challenge right now.
Okay. And is there another person you work with who determines the priority of the orders, or is that something that you do in your job?
So we work with our customer service team
Okay.
to see which customer should get what first.
Okay, thank you. And what is your work environment like? I know you're probably on your feet a lot, moving back and forth, but can you describe it a little bit for somebody who's never worked at a distribution center or at a manufacturer?
I would say that there is a lot of moving around on our feet, But honestly, majority of the time we're on forklifts and things like that
Okay.
because of the equipment that we manufacture. It's heavy equipment, you know, 100 pounds each. So
Mhm.
we got a lot of forklifts zooming around and stuff like that. But that's typically the environment that we're in.
Oh, okay. Thank you. And are you expected to be on call?
Not exactly on call, but
Mhm.
uh, our hours might be till 5 o'clock. But if we have a truck that's stuck in traffic or something like that, we would be expected to stay over to make sure that the freight gets loaded and customers get taken care of.
Yeah. All about the logistics of it, right? There's
Absolutely.
a and then what education or experience helped you get the job that you're in right now?
I had previous warehousing experience
Okay.
before I came here, and also I had DOT certification to drive the box trucks and such like that,
Okay.
plus tow motor experience before I got into the role that I'm in.
Okay. And do you need a certain special license to operate the forklifts?
Yeah, there is a exam that you have to take before you can drive the forklifts, but they do it
Okay.
all in house here.
Oh, okay. So all in-house training, which is wonderful.
Yeah.
And then when you're hiring a new candidate for your department, what education do they need? I know you touch a little bit about the certifications, but is there a certain skill that you're looking for or a certain personality that you're looking for in a person?
Well, to get hired on, really, to start off in the department, high school diploma or equivalent is all that's really needed.
Okay.
And it really depends on how far you want to go with the career. Um, we have different level and tier system here, so you can start off with just basic diploma and then move up from there. And depending on how far you want to go with it, whether or not you need a degree.
Okay. Thank you. And then what skill do you find most valuable in a new employee?
I would say work ethic and critical thinking. Not every day is the same. One little thing could create a hiccup. And if you have a truck waiting on freight, you have to think fast to try to get everything where it needs to go on time without causing more delay.
Yeah, I can see that. A lot of thinking on the fly and just understanding and the whole overall arching the impact of what decision you make has a ripple effect, right?
Yeah, it's kind of
Mhm.
like playing a game of chess. You don't anticipate the move you're doing. You're anticipating 3 moves out, whether
Yeah.
you know one customer's going to have to sacrifice for another one or something like that.
Mhm. And I can see how that relationship is very valuable with the customer service because they have to also speak with the customer.
Yeah, absolutely. And if there is a hiccup or delay, that's going to have to be explained, and we don't want to make customers upset.
Yeah, very important job. And then what career advice would you give a student who's considering working in your field?
I find it an exciting career.
Mhm.
Myself, I came in with just a high school diploma into this type of thing, and I've been able to work my way up a little bit. And I mean, that was the most exciting thing for me. And it's a fast-paced environment, so you have to enjoy that. But as long as you enjoy that, it's a great career field to be in, and there's opportunity to grow.
Great, thank you. And then if you were speaking to a teacher or a guidance counselor and they have a student in their office who is quite uncertain what they want to do, what would you say to them to encourage them to go into your field?
Well, I would say with anything dealing with distribution, it's not going anywhere. We're always going to be sending things out, so there's a lot of job security in that. Even when times get tough, there's still freight that needs to be moved. So I would
Okay.
say that there's a lot of backbone to the distribution field in itself. Um, and once again, I mean, you can start at the very bottom level and work your way up. It just depends on how far you want to go with it.
Well, I don't think a lot of people realize how important logistics and distribution is until COVID hit and everybody was doing mail orders and asking for stuff, and how much of an impact it is on what you're doing from the restaurant side, providing the food equipment to make the food, or sitting it out across the board. All logistics had a huge role in keeping us up and running on our economy. So thank you. And then what is a quick, I know we talked about this a little bit, but the typical career path, I know you said you can start from high school and then you slowly work your way up. As a high school student with no experience, what would they be expecting to do on day one, and how their career progression would be until they got to a position like what you're doing?
To start off, they start off in this company with what they would call like a warehouse clerk.
Okay.
And that's the very base level where you're working on kind of getting the orders together and such like that. And then from there, you'd move on to more of the international side of it, understanding different customs things and stuff like that, what's allowed, what's not allowed, even hazmat training and such like that, to the point where you would move your way up to distribution specialist.
Okay. Yeah, so a lot of different career path growths, and I imagine you could also go back and swivel back and forth between different areas and get a lot of different experience.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And then what are the typical wages in your career?
In this career, it could vary anywhere starting out from, $15 an hour. I'd say probably 18 to 20 starting out. And then if you wanted to level all the way up, it would possibly go up to 30.
Okay. That's great. Thank you. And then do you have any other words of advice to students or parents or teachers?
I would say especially, once again, talking about distribution, it's not going to go anywhere. And even with distribution, there's other skills that go into it, whether it be computer skills, looking at future dated things and stuff like that. So just getting your foot in the door with distribution can open opportunities elsewhere, whether it is not even in the distribution field or not.
That's great. Next, you did mention one word I have to ask on. Computers. Do you use the computer a lot on your job?
Yeah, I would say it's a pretty even keel going back and forth from what we call the warehouse floor, and for myself, working on the computer. If we have a lot of stuff going internationally, we have to get that information quoted out and sent to customer service so they can get their bill of ladings adjusted to get the freight quotes and pricing and that kind of thing.
Okay, great. Thank you. Well, that's all we have for you today. We greatly appreciate your time and all the work that you're doing at Henry Penny. And we are excited to put this on our series of logistics and distribution, because I know there's a lot of students out there who are just wondering what they can do in this environment. So thank you for your time and talking about your career today. We appreciate it, Jay. Have a good day.
Thank you.
Thank you.